Hello everyone. I will give a brief talk about uh, my work in this project. So the title of this presentation will be Exploring a New Historical Research Through Application of Hydrological Models. My name is Seemanta Sharma BHAGABATI. I'm a project researcher at the University of Tokyo in Japan. So first, what is the goal in the project? Um, So on the right side, you can see the India. So in 1870s, there were two big disasters that happened. One was the Deccan riot in 1875, and the second was the Great Famine in 1876 to 1878. So a lot of people uh, were affected by this famine, and the total number of deaths amounted to about 5 million. So, so this is a very old historical research. Uh, but from my point of view as a hydrologist, my main goal in this project is to assist the historical research by providing scientific data. Here we are simulating historical drought event, primarily the Great Famine of the Western India during 1876 and 1878. And by using the model results, we are trying to visualize the extent and severity of the Great Famine by adding a new element, namely the metallurgical and hydrological perspective, to an analytical approach. So my goal here is to aid the historical research of the Great Famine in India by providing scientific research outputs. How do you engage in it? Historical researchers usually use evidence from primary sources such as the artifacts, documents, diaries, recordings, etc., and secondary sources such as documents which are related or discussing information originally presented by someone else, and oral histories to answer the research questions. It also includes some statistical analysis and discussions. However, often it lacks any spatial analysis, so it can become a bit harder to grasp the overall picture. So, for example, um, we can have this kind of data sets from a historical, from a hydrological perspective. So, for example, you can have a river discharge data where you can get the river discharge for the whole year or at a particular location. And we can have a special distribution of rainfall for the local area or the overall precipitation for the whole year. We can visualize the river basin along with its different characteristics. And also we can have some soil moisture data such as high moisture or low moisture. So by providing such special data, it becomes easier to grasp the overall picture of the uh, of the event. So hence, scientific analysis results can provide this missing spatial data, and this can be used as a tertiary source, which can further aid the narrative. What kind of methods and data do you use? So hydrological models are used to estimate the hydrological conditions of a river basin at a particular point in time. Generally, we are using observed metallurgical, hydrological, and other geospatial data as inputs to these hydrological models. In this research, we are using the WebDHM, the Water and Energy-Based Distributed Hydrological Model. It is an advanced distributed hydrological model, meaning it can provide continuous spatially distributed information of water and energy balance of the river basin. So this slide shows the details of the hydrological model. So it has four components. It has the energy and water flux balance. That means it includes the tree and canopy interaction with the environment. It has the vertical soil moisture interactions. It has the lateral flow of water based on the topography of the river basin, and then it has the technical river routing scheme developed using the kinematic wave equation. So we use by using this data, by using this model, we can get a very detailed outputs which can be used for further analysis. So this model requires a lot of different data sets. For example, meteorological data includes precipitation, air temperature, air pressure, relative humidity, solar radiation, wind, and cloud cover, and other static data such as topography data or the DEM data, land use data, soil moisture data, soil data, and other vegetation. And in this inputs, the most important part is the metrical data. And the model provides different outputs such as simulated water discharge at multiple locations along the river channel and simulated soil moisture for the entire basin. So we use recent data to set up this model, calibrate and validate using hydrological models. And then we use the validated models to simulate historical events. So, for example, first we need to know, we need to use a known value such as the observed river discharge to calibrate and validate model. So in this case, this one shows the river basin, and we calibrate the model for this year, 1979, and we validate the model for 1998 and 1999 for two different stations. So by calibrating the model using one parameter, in this case the observed discharge, other unknown parameters such as soil moisture can be estimated easily. Question 4. What are the challenges? Usually the input data for hydrological models are readily available. However, in this case, we are trying to simulate a historical event which occurred over a century ago. Many of the required input data are not readily available. Okay. For example, the rainfall data. So there was no rainfall data occurring during the drought period. So we had some such kind of historical documents which had some data, but the data was not continuous, and it was also available for very limited time periods. And the other thing is the meteorological data. So there are some global reanalysis datasets which have data for our time period. However, there is large uncertainty in the available data. Therefore, we had to come up with some interesting approaches and techniques to use the limited available data and generate the model usable meteorological and hydrological datasets. Next question. How do you find hydrologists working with historians? This research has been very exciting, productive, and challenging at the same time. Both historians and hydrologists have very different approaches and perspectives. Historians have a narrative based on historical documents, records, data, etc., whereas hydrologists primarily focus on scientific models and results. The former is predominantly qualitative, while the latter is quantitative. Each of them have their own pros and cons. For example, in this research, we are trying to aid the historical research. So this slide shows the soil moisture content provided by the model output on the right side. The red color shows high soil moisture, and then the green color shows low soil moisture. And on the right, you can see there are some circles. These were the data which were obtained from records provided by the chief district officers for June 1876. So the blue color here shows the high agricultural outputs, which is corresponding well with the high soil moisture. The medium color shown in black shows lower production or yield, and the soil moisture is also relatively lower. And for the low, shown in red circles, the soil moisture content is also very low. And for the green part, where the soil moisture content is the lowest, the productivity or agricultural yield was also very low. So hence, I think the multidisciplinary collaboration opens up many new aspects and widens our understanding of the same event from different perspectives. Our individual researchers' results can complement each other and thereby increase research quality and usefulness. It was a good learning experience, and overall, I can say it's a win-win for both the sides. Thank you.